Okay, welcome to today's video. What we're going to be doing today in the rain, it wasn't supposed to be raining, but it is. We're doing this video. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be moss treating this lawn behind us. We'll recognise it from a previous video. And I know what you're thinking. Has he been on holiday? No, it's fake, darling. This tan overdid it, but never mind. It looks like I've been away, so I feel good. Let's crack on. Okay, so we're back here. Remember this job? This used to be a bowling green many moons ago, and the house used to be a pub. Now, not been for about 5 weeks now, just been so wet, and the customers not being able to open the gate and things like that. So it's been 5 weeks. Moss has really taken a hold, so we just dropped down this lawn. It doesn't really get much treatment, really. It gets 4 treatments a year, and because this year of the drought that we had early doors, it missed a treatment because there was no water to water it in. So the moss has really come back with a vengeance. So you can see, standing on it, how much cushion mosses there are there. It's just ridiculous, really. So what we do is, this time of year, we give it a good iron treatment. So we're going on with Inhibit, we're going on with Autumn Punch, and in with the Inhibit liquid, we'll mix in our Dan's Winter Magic, and in a week, this lawn will still be full of moss, but it'll be a totally different colour, and it'll look good. And that's all the customer wants here, just a nice looking green lawn for the winter. So let's go and get all that set up, and then we'll show you what we're going to do. First job before we mow this lawn is we've got to pick these leaves up. There's just so many in this pile here that the mower wouldn't cope. And because it's been really windy, all the leaves have blown into nice piles for us, so we don't really have to do much work other than get our bin out and pick these up. So let's get that done. Alright, so that's all the leaves up, so we're getting ready to get the hater out. And I've just seen some kind of alien kind of slime. What the heck is that? If we just give it a bit of a kick, it's like, ugh, that is horrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that the wide berth with the more. I'm not actually going to touch that in case it's radioactive or something. That is weird stuff. Any ideas what that is? Get in touch. Okay, so before we crack on with the Hayter mower, I thought I'd ask local historian Dr. Vree along to tell us a bit more about the house and the garden and what went on all those centuries ago when this house used to be a pub. So let's join him now and let's see what he's got to say. Welcome, Dr. Vree. Hans, is it?
Hans Vree.
It is. Right, so first of all, where are you from? Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, my parents were Austrian and they left Austria just after the war, and they came to England, and I was born in Grimsby in England.
So how long have you been in Bolton?
I've been in Bolton about 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Well, how can you be a local historian if you've only been here 2 weeks?
Well, because I am a historian, because I've got an A-level in history and one in welding, and I live in Bolton now, so I am, by definition, a local historian.
Well, this should be good. Let's crack on. Let's see what he's got. Okay, so I believe this was the original cellar door which they would have brought the beer into. What kind of beer do you think they drunk in those days?
They drank beer, pub beer in the pub.
What kind of brands do you think they had back then?
Oh, I think almost certainly Foster's.
And what else would they have typically drunk?
They'd have drunk beer, and they'd have maybe drunk gin, because
Yeah.
they drank a lot of gin in the old days, and beer.
Beer? No wine? You don't have wine in those days?
I don't think there was any wine in those days ever.
So just above us, there's a glass window. Can you tell us anything about what that might have been?
That used to be the door out of the pub, down steps to go to the bowling green over there.
And what do you think happened to the steps?
I think they've gone.
Okay, so we've not only got the cellar door just to our left there, we've got what used to be the remnants of a door here. You can tell by the frame there. What do you think happens to this door hole?
I think it's been filled in. This is the cellar door that leads to the cellar. It didn't look like this in the old days. It's been done up.
Okay, well, let's have a look in. Obviously, you don't know where you're going because you've never been here before. But just go to your right, let's see what's in there maybe, or is that...
You want to go to me right? Oh, those are steps.
And where do you think they led?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe up to the pub, maybe. This is another room. I'll put the light on. They wouldn't have had lights in them days.
Do you think they had Dysons in those days?
They possibly had Dysons, but certainly no lights.
So do you think this is the original fireplace of the cellar pub?
I do indeed think this is original. This is wood, and this is brick.
So do you just look at the brick closely? How can you tell off the brick or anything how old this pub actually is?
Yes, I know that it was built in 1805.
What, just by looking at the cement you can be that specific?
No, there's a date above the front door. I saw it when I was coming in.
Okay, so we've got the bowling green here. Can you tell us anything about this?
Well, the bowling green was attached to the pub. The miners would come from Riding Gate and then go to the pub and have some beer and then come and play bowling on the bowling green.
Can you tell whether it was crown green or flat green bowling?
I think it was 10-pin bowling.
Right, so just more about the pub in general. What was it called? Do you know its name?
It was called the Britannia Inn.
And what does that actually mean? I've always wondered.
It means that it was in Britannia, which is Britain. It was in Britain.
Ah, right, so that makes sense. That makes sense to me now. So a little bit of information we've learnt there. So do you think anybody famous drank at the pub?
Well, Samuel Crompton was born nearby in Fulwood Close, and I think he used to come to the pub with his invention, the spinning donkey, and it did tricks.
Okay, so we're just in the last bit of the house now, which we're going to show you. Now, this was the bar area, we are led to believe.
This is where people would drink their beer.
And do you think this was used for... Do you think this is the original feature?
This is original feature.
What, even the mop gas fire?
Not the gas fire. That would have been a proper fire with logs.
Now, you were telling me earlier about the coroner's court was once used here because the... Was it the owner jumped out the top window?
No, there were 2 miners who were killed and the coroner's court was held here to find out how they died.
And what about the guy who jumped out the top window?
Well, he wasn't there then. He came later and jumped out the top window.
And why do you think he did that?
I don't know. Maybe he was an acrobat.
Okay, so that's all from Dr. Vree today. Thanks for coming, Dr. Vree. We'll call you.
Thank you very much. I'm going back now to where I live in Grimsby. No, not Grimsby, Bolton.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Alright, that's the long cut. Notice how I did my double stripes, and this is how we've got good guidelines for our fertiliser in granular form, and then those widths of those double stripes are exactly the same as my sprayer, so we get a perfect application every time. Okay, so we're just about to spray our Dan's Winter Magic and... Okay, so we're just about to spray our Inhibit and our Dan's Winter Magic. So I just want to introduce you to the Inhibit liquid because you've not seen it before. Now, as I touched on in a previous video, the powder form is now gone because the Germany factory where it was being produced, they've come up with new legislation there and the ventilation has to be improved. And for the company who made the powder, it's just not worth it. So they've stopped doing it, so I can't get that anymore. So we've got to put it in a liquid form. Now, we can't get that 19% strength stuff, and this is only 6%, but that's not what it means. So let me explain before you start going, oh, he's ripping me off, he's giving us a weaker solution for the same price. But I'm not. So what happens is, so now we've got 17% strength, but it comes as a heptahydrate, which is 7 molecules of water to the molecule of iron that you get. So it's almost like a wet sugar. Now over time, it's great when you first get it because it's nice and malleable, but over time it's stored, it goes rock hard and you have to chisel away at it, and that's no good for you, the end user. So we put it in a bottle for you. But so what this is, it's a 6% strength of that 17% iron powder. So you're not getting, you're getting a slightly less powerful iron 2%, but this is because we can't get that anymore. But you're not getting a 6% strength. There's 6% of that 17% iron in this bottle. So this bottle weighs 6.5 kilograms. So if we put that down to 1 litre bottles, that's 1.1 kilo. So there's 6% of that weight in that bottle, which equates to about 66 grams. So you're still getting a good hit of iron, which is what I would put in powder form in the tank. You can't put any more in because the water would just turn to like a solid. You know, when you put salt in too much in water, eventually it just can't cope, and that's why we can only put that amount in. So that explains that. Once we put that in, we put the whole bottle in. That's 500 square metres. This does 500 square metres. It is available in 1 litres as well. For those of you who don't have a lawn which is 500 square metres, that does 100 square metres. Same with the Dan's Winter Magic. We put that in as well, the whole bottle. And we've got 1 litre of those as well. So let's crack on with that and get it on, and then we can go home and put our feet up and warm up. Alright, so I'm back 5 days after I did the treatment, looking pretty good. The reason I'm back 5 days is because we've got some frost due Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so I won't be able to come because it will be rock solid. So I wanted to do some kind of result today. We'll do another result later on in a couple of weeks when it has a proper chance to kick in, but looking at it, so far so good. So I'm going to give it a quick cut, try and make it look a bit better, and then we'll call this one quits for now. Okay, just giving it a quick cut, looking really good for this time of year now. I think there's more to come. Normally what you would do is, maybe not this time of year, but you would then go on and scarify this moss out, but obviously we can't do that this time of year. And there's just so much stuff now comes out of this lawn and we've nowhere to put it. The scarifying doesn't get done, and that's the reason why that is. But yeah, really happy with that. For the end of November, for 27th it is today, I think.